All right, let's do it live on a Monday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. I am merely Bo. He's the great Z.
Hello.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm gonna try to turn in as noteworthy a performance as OG turned in today on, I think it was at Good Morning America.
Still a little hung.
I don't know what he was, but
Might
he
have
was
still
not
been involved.
He was not where his body was.
On a list of, we're all around the same age. If you were to tell me, pick the North American pro sports franchise that you think is least likely to end its championship drought, I very well may have said the New York Knicks for most of my life. Certainly once they got past the mid-90s, I know, I would have said probably the Knicks. And I'm going to tell you why. It was a spot that, because of ownership, nobody wanted to play.
Yeah.
They had cap space for 20 years.
Yep.
And nobody wanted to play there. And then James Dolan hired Leon Rose, who ran CAA, to put his basketball operation together. And here we sit. Dude, they were the fourth pick in the East going into the postseason this year. They were the fourth favorite in the East. They were 17-1 to win the championship. There's only 16 teams in it.
I saw a stat that said if you started with a $100 wager on, and you did like the live betting,
yeah,
and you took in the 4 wins, you took them at their lowest point in the game. So like,
oh my God, like down 29.
Down 29, and you bet $100. Well, the first game they were down double digits in the first quarter in every single game.
Yeah, 18-8 almost every time. Yeah, something like that.
So if you did that in game 1, game 2, and you rolled over whatever you won. So like in game 1, you rolled it over. Their 4 wins would have netted you $24.4 million off of a $100 initial bet. So they had comebacks 1, 3, and 5 all time in NBA Finals history in this series. They are the most dominant playoff team ever in the NBA, if you look at it from a plus-minus standpoint in terms of their entire run. Now, there are more games now, so it's a little bit not quite – it's hard to compare them to, say, like –
yeah, because there was a
Bill
Lakers team that only
Russell's
lost once, and I think there was a Celtics team that maybe
But they also were blowing people out.
Yeah. Oh, and in some of the earlier series, yeah. I thought Kenny said we'd beat him analytically.
2 out of 3 at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we beat him.
That didn't count for much.
Yeah.
They did not win a single clinching game at home.
Nope.
Which is incredible.
Yep.
They're just it's one of the all-time great postseason runs. Happy for Mike Brown. I love Josh. I think Josh Hart is as winning a player as there is. Have 3 guys, first time that 3 college teammates who won a national championship have won an NBA championship together. It'll probably never happen again, would be my guess. It's just magical. The crazy thing, wasn't DiVincenzo also on those?
He was. He was part of the deal that got
Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm saying like
Minnesota.
it
could have been 4 of them.
Could have been 4 of them, which is even crazier.
Well, which is what when Rose put it together, and he gave up a lot to get Bridges, but when he put all of this together, he had 4 Nova guys. They were the Nova Knicks. Like he just brought them. The Brunson story is crazy. He was just kind of overlooked, but then he just wins 2 national titles at Villanova, National Player of the Year. His list of like players who are National Player of the Year, national champions, and NBA champions, and Finals MVP. It's like him and Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm not sure who the other one was. There are 4 or 5 of them that were on there. It's a stunning.
I saw that. Was
Bill
that
Russell.
list accurate? Because then I read somebody that said that wasn't accurate, and I didn't bother to do the research in the sense that Magic never won that because Larry won it.
No, Magic won. The Michigan State beat Indiana State.
No, not a national title. The Naismith part of it, they said.
Oh, yeah. No, Magic did not win the Naismith. Larry won the Naismith. So if Magic was on that, then no, he did not.
Was on that.
He did not win the Naismith.
Yeah.
So the Naismith, I mean, off the top of my head, I would think it would be Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I assume Russell won the Naismith at San Francisco. They won the national
Brunson
title.
and Bird, I think.
Well, but Bird didn't win a national
title. Then there's a lot of they're combining
Jordan,
2 people.
Probably Jordan. Jordan won National Player of the Year. He won a national title at North Carolina in different years. Jordan would have been on that list.
Yeah,
because he was National Player of the Year in '84, and he won the NCAA championship in '82, and then obviously all the rest that came in the NBA. So Jordan would be on that, Brunson, Kareem would be on that, and I would assume Russell would be on it. Those would be the ones that I would think would be on that list.
Only 4 basketball players in history have achieved the rare triple crown: NCAA title, NBA championship, and National Player of the Year. Magic, Jordan, Anthony Davis, and Jalen Brunson is what it says.
Magic Johnson did not win National Player of the Year.
That's what it says.
His
It's
sophomore
won the
year.
NPOY multiple award. I don't know.
Well, maybe they gave multiple National
Maybe
Players of the Year
yeah.
award his sophomore year, but Bird
Yeah.
was the Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, of course, yeah. But was Anthony Davis a Finals MVP? Was he in 2020?
I don't think he was the Finals MVP.
When the
This
Lakers
doesn't-
won it?
This doesn't leave it to that, so that you could chop him off if it's just Finals MVP.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a
It's incredible.
you have New York friends, I have New York friends. The Knicks are New York's team. More than the Yankees, more than
Right, they're
the
Yankees
Giants.
and Mets, they're Giants
for
and
sure.
Jets.
Everything else splits.
Yeah.
The Knicks, that's New
Unify.
York. It's the whole city
Yeah.
is for the Knicks. There's so many other things that are from their perspective. I was rooting for them. Like it's
Me
been
too,
53 years. Like
100%.
I was thrilled that they won it. I love the way that
too.
they played. New York is, you think about being the Mecca and all of that stuff for basketball, Madison Square Garden, all of it. Also, a point guards matter their town. Like their point guards, whether it's Stephon Marbury or Kenny Anderson or Kenny Smith, like the street ball background of that city, the
Walt Clyde Frazier.
absolutely Clyde Frazier, Pearl Washington rather. They had so many of those guys that had come through. Maybe it was Pearl Monroe who came through New York, and those guys were like iconic guards. And like he's not from there. His dad's from Boston, and obviously played at Villanova in Philly. But at the
Did
same
his dad
time,
play for the Knicks with Ewing?
Rick Brunson very well could have.
Yeah.
I think he probably did.
Yeah.
But
It's
also,
crazy.
it is. It's a nuts story to be able to do it. And now he puts himself in this crazy kind of group of, okay, so he's an iconic New York athlete forever, and everybody
my
on
God,
there
forever.
immortalized forever. But then beyond that, he's in this group of like almost like otherworldly beloved in their city. It's kind of like the Bernie thing here. Like,
Oh, yeah, he's Mario Lemieux.
Absolutely. There's that type. Except Lemieux, I think, is known by hockey people as like one of the top 4 hockey players of all
Ever.
time.
Right.
Like I don't know if Brunson's not going to be in that category, but like in terms of beloved, like he's going to be beloved there the way Bernie's beloved here, the way like Tressel's beloved in Columbus. Like that maybe they aren't outside of the city or outside the state.
For sure. But he is, as to what we opened with, right? He's on the smallest of lists you could be in terms of basketball greatness
He is.
over your like adult life.
He's on a incredible list of just like sheer winning. That is, like Isaiah Thomas would probably be. I wonder did he not win National Player of the Year at Indiana? They won a national title at Indiana, and that's obviously who he reminds you of. I mean, he wears number 11. I mean, there's a lot of parallels between him
Sure.
and Zeke. Yeah, it was crazy to watch that and to see that. I'd be honest, I went to bed. It was 11. They were down 10, and there was like 7 minutes to go. And San Antonio kind of controlled the whole thing, and it was just Brunson. And
45.
I know it. And I told Aim, I'm like, I'm going to bed. And she's like, really? The boys aren't even? I'm like, I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. I'm going. So I thought they're not going to do it again. They'll win it in New York on Tuesday or whatever. And then I get up and it's like, my God, they did it again. The play he made where he took Wemby one-on-one and like stopped short and then finished underneath. If you haven't played basketball, you have no idea how hard that is. Wemby is a foot and a half taller than him. Like his ability
And with
to
arms.
reach over that and just do this to get the right amount of reach, to use the rim as kind of a bit of a shield. It was just incredible play. And now, I mean, in terms of streaks, unfortunately, we have them. We have one. The Guardians have one. The Toronto Maple Leafs have one. Like in terms of franchises, franchises that have gone a long time without winning one. We're on that. But they were the one. They were the one in basketball. And I just felt because of ownership, there was no way that they were ever going to win one.
And they just went on the most dominant run you could have. I mean, think about I have my buddy D-Strum, who's a huge Knicks fan. I mean, huge.
Native New Yorker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huge Knicks fan. But Knicks fan, I mean, in college, all I could you talk about is Allen Houston. Like, we're talking, this is a big Knicks fan.
I'm just laughing because one of my best friends when I was in Florida is a guy named Rob Shaw, who worked at Facebook for a long time, now runs some sports companies. Great dude. And we would play like one-on-one basketball, and it was the same thing. Like he had this disproportionate view of people who played for the Knicks in the 90s. Like in his mind, John Starks was just a hair below Jordan. Like just that's how.
What was he, 2 for 17 or 2 for 19 in the game against a finals?
Right, like
clincher?
It was Allen Houston and him and Larry
Allen
Johnson
Houston had a nice shot. Yeah, Allen Houston had a nice shot.
The Spreewell was so good. I'm like, I don't know if any of them were that
Anthony
great.
Mason. He probably loved
they
Mace.
Loved those guys.
Loved Mace.
They just loved all those like cultish guys, but none of them were viewed as like, other than Ewing. Ewing was a great. Right. But other than that, they were just, they were nice players, but they weren't anything. So I'm sorry, I laughed when you said that about how much you loved Allen Houston.
Man, loved Allen Houston. And yeah, I was. And I even said this in our group chat going to the game. I'm like, look, they're winning this series. There's no doubt in my mind. I said, I kind of want it to happen in Game 6 in New York. I feel like that would have been – I said, it was so fun watching the celebrities' reactions to the win in New York and all, Hardegay running on the court, Larry and Jerry, like all of it. Like I thought that would be so cool to have them actually win it in New York.
Yes.
Because it can only happen there or L.A., but I think – LA's different. It's the Lakers have won. It's not the same at all. It was really a remarkable thing. And now it's like that ends. Boom, Stanley Cups. It's like okay, thank goodness for the World Cup right now. But then we got the U.S. Open going on this week. But just incredible. And I don't know if you saw because I think it was after we left. I think Friday, Eisen had Larry David on. Was that Friday?
It was, yeah.
And he shows him the tweet about how the Spurs can take the lead, but they can't hold the lead, and holding is the most. Lead, yeah. That's the most important part. And like Larry's laugh, first of all, kind of scares me a little bit. It's very like almost like a robot laughing, like Max Headroom. But it was just so cool. Like everything about it was cool. Chalamet and Stiller going down there partying in the locker room is incredible.
Going, I'm not an athlete. I just stunt doubles for this.
I don't know what that has to do with champagne in your eyes per se. You're an athlete, but that was incredible. The guy in New York who has become one of I'm not pro violence. Let's all just get along and hug one another, but. Have you seen the videos of the guy who was in a Rodman Spurs jersey that was basically like fighting 500 Knicks fans at once?
Yes.
No, I have not seen this human.
Inside, spilled outside. He just kept going like, I'll take on anybody.
Anybody. And this looked like a dude you did not want any part of, my opinion. Right, I wanted no part of him.
It's a lot of
gets
it's
arrested.
A big city.
He's been let go. And again, this all does seem to be verified because he's responding to it, and I've like saved a bunch of these tweets because I just find this whole situation fascinating with this guy. So he puts on a Spurs 10 Rodman jersey, no shirt underneath, goes to New York. Turns out he's actually this is the guy right here, and this guy's just going 1 on 500, and it goes outside. It's insane. So this guy. He didn't throw the first punch in this whole situation, so he gets off from the law standpoint. But apparently, he's actually a disgruntled Sixers fan who just went up there to he went up there for the smoke. Like he went up there and put that jersey on to go in there, and people are nuts.
Bozo.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy's
put him in jail.
They had him arrested, and he didn't. And he said that he just was. He didn't throw the first punch, and
but he was looking for it.
He was clearly looking. We got to just leave I don't understand fighting people who wear other jerseys. I don't understand any of that. As a kid, I remember seeing some crazy stuff a couple times at a few Raider games, and I was like, this is terrifying to me.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that.
I don't want any part of that. So let's just all get along. I thought it was very cool, and you mentioned going back kind of full circle, but the unifying nature of this Knicks team with really in New York, but it even felt like the whole country was kind of into it.
Yeah,
which normally you think they would hate because it's New York. The kid was like, "I'll never root for the Knicks," but
it's on a short list.
Very cool.
It was, and it's on a short list of, and I think the championship here in 2016 is on this list too. Of that was so sweet, but God, can you imagine if it would have happened here?
Oh yeah,
like the fact that that they won it in San Antonio. I mean, Golden State was a 73-win team, so you had to go win it out there. That was part of it. But you just think about what it would have been like to win in your home building. and then we had the incredible parade here, and they'll have an incredible parade. I think it's on Thursday, and it'll be awesome. And so that happened this week since last we talked. And then the other thing that's really interesting, and you brought it up a little bit with the World Cup. I didn't have any real anticipation for the World Cup. In fact, I think we talked about it last week. I was kind of tepid to it. I was like, okay, I guess the World Cup's in America, and we had Mo Salah was in here last week running around. Here. We're like, well, that's pretty cool. But I know the G-Man was really jacked up for it.
Gabriel.
And it was kind of an example to me. I guess it was illuminating to me from this perspective. We now, whether it's sports, entertainment, politics, whatever, we are very much in echo chambers.
Yes.
And we get stuff that we want, and things that we respond to are constantly fed to us over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
And the reality is that I really missed, in the lead up to this World Cup, how excited this country would be for it. Because I saw images, the Columbus Crew, which of course, part of the ownership group down there, they put on a viewing party at Bridge Park in Dublin. So have you guys been down there? You familiar with Bridge Park?
I am.
In Dublin? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that they were hosting it down there. I'm like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You're expecting a lot of people if you're hosting it there.
Bridge Park is awesome. It's beautiful new development. Crawford Hoying, who's involved with us over here, they're the ones kind of the brainchild behind it. I remember it from the ground floor, but they had tens of thousands of people in Bridge Park watching this, and that echoed throughout the country. And then 16 million people watched it, the U.S. opener, 16 million on a Friday night, which we know there's a reason the NFL doesn't ever play a game on Friday night other than Black Friday.
Yeah,
because it's the worst television night of the year, of the week. It's the worst. 9 o'clock on top of it. And they did 16 million. And then beyond that, and this is the thing that was a lesson to me in terms of being in the content business and all of it, like my kids couldn't wait. And a lot of their friends couldn't wait. And there were watch parties around town. There was watch parties at the high school football field. Like there were all these watch parties where people gathered to watch this. And it was like, you know what? Like sometimes you have to reach outside your silo to see what's actually going on. And it was a true happening on Friday. And then what you got out of Team USA was this incredible approach. I mean, I've never seen us open I've never seen the United States. Paraguay's not bad. They're not like the team that just tied Spain. They're not like the team that Spain beat or that Germany beat 7-1. Curacao. They're not like that. Paraguay would probably be in the World Cup regardless if it was expanded or not.
Yep.
They're a quality team, and we bombed them 4-1.
Possessed the ball we never possessed the ball.
And it was downhill. It was a relentless attack on net, and it was like, God, this is fun. And now you mentioned no NHL, no NBA. Now they kind of have this whole week to build up to Friday. Now Fox and FIFA did you no favors. They play at 3:00 in Seattle on Friday. Brutal. Like you're hosting it, for God's sakes.
Right.
Play it
Thursday.
Prime
time. Yeah.
Thursday in prime time. Like Mexico and Canada get to play Thursdays. For whatever reason, we're playing on Friday. But it's going to be a fever pitch for it. And it was funny that the World Cup in our house, we didn't watch everything, but like if we were in the house, most of the time we were outside, but if we were in the house, it was on. It was just on in the background. It was on. And the boys were watching it and taking it in and watched some of the Germany game. And, yeah, I mean, I didn't think I would have much enthusiasm for it. I ended up having a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for it.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun. Young Gabriel, you're dialed in more than I am. Isn't England Croatia? Is England Croatia in 2 days?
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. It's this. I knew it was this week.
Spain played today. France plays tomorrow.
Egypt with a goal on Belgium.
There you go.
1-0.
Mo Salah.
Because they've been practicing here.
Practicing here, yeah. England, Croatia, I think, is Wednesday.
That's a tough opener for both.
I don't know if Croatia's
not
on
as
the level that
like
she used to be, and I think England's pretty dang good this time around.
England-Croatia is going to be a treat. I'm quite excited for that.
What handicap my countrymen for me? Do we have a? We're not. This isn't a team that's going to the finals.
This isn't
but look
2018
what happened to
Croatia.
Spain.
No.
Like the amount of pressure when you're one of the the England pressure is going to be nuts on them.
Yeah, and they've had a rough week leading up to this. Like they got some of their jerseys stolen. Apparently, it's just been a rough week.
Yeah,
physically for them.
Well, and the other thing that's crazy is I don't know if you saw the images from like Boston. Did you see the images
Yeah,
of
with all
Boston
this
with
with
Scotland?
Scotland. It's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you see him go down the slide with the bagpipes?
Yes. I mean, how about the fact that like you're watching? I was watching. It was Germany Curacao. Were they playing in the Meadowlands? I think they were in New York. I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
That place is packed. Like Scotland, the Scotland game packed. Like no seats.
The Brazil and Morocco game was packed. That was also at MetLife. That game was really good.
Yeah,
and then
Brazil was
Japan,
terrible.
Japan and the Netherlands. That was
in
pretty much a
Dallas.
sellout. That was in Dallas. And you're listening to the broadcasters. They're like, "This is a pretty nice digs that Jerry Jones has built here."
Germany was actually an NRG in Houston.
Oh, Houston. That's right. Yeah, because our buddy's down there. Remember, I talked about this guy last week. So this guy was on this. Hey, here's a Buc-ee's and here's a Wendy's and here's all this.
Yes.
So this guy, J.J. Watt, puts
Yep.
him up in a luxury hotel in Houston.
I know we ruined that. That wasn't the gimmick.
No, I know, but like, I agree with you, and I think that there's a case for that. But like, they're going to go to an Ella Langley concert. It's like a Make-A-Wish thing now.
Right.
What was just like a diary.
But it was pure.
It's Freddie,
and pure,
man.
but he didn't ask for any of it.
I
Now
agree.
he's got nearly 600,000 followers on social. And at one point he's like, I don't know how this keeps happening to me. I'm just a guy going to the World Cup. But that's the power of social media. He's now got 600,000 followers on this thing. He's been put up in a suite at this hotel in Houston. He's going to an Ella Langley concert next week and meeting Ella Langley. And
That's
all he did
crazy.
was, this is a gas station. There are 100 pumps. I don't
I'm in
get it.
Alabama.
That's it.
It's awesome. It's the world's
see
game.
Scotland
It
take
truly
over
is.
Fenway.
Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about that, Kev, just a second ago, like how they took
Yeah.
it over and then took over the streets of Boston. Yeah, it was awesome. It's really cool.
Sorry, I was catching up to the.
No,
goal.
you're good, brother.
It was
You're good.
spoiled
But
for me.
it's just a really cool. It's a really you reminded like the size of the World Cup.
That's why it's also cool thinking about, and it's obviously well in the future. Who knows when it'll be back here again, since it's been, since 94,
32
30
years.
years. But that's why you wish that maybe, the new Huntington Bank Field was here. That might have been a venue.
Very likely would have been, I would think. Although they did ignore the middle of America entirely. I mean, there
It's
are.
mainly coastal cities that are hosting.
Aren't they playing
Entirely.
Kansas City?
That's the only one.
Which is
which
wild.
is odd. So the only thing I would say there is that the Hunt family is, you could argue, the first family of American soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So Clark played at SMU. Clark played at SMU. The dad, Lamar, was instrumental in the founding of MLS. At one point, he owned Columbus Crew, KC, Dallas, maybe Denver. He owned like 4 MLS teams at one point and like kind of kept the league afloat at one point. And Clark loves soccer. So the only thing I could think of is like Clark was like, we're going to have one in Kansas City.
Yep.
And they bid. I'm sure. Look, this is how it is with FIFA. It's all just payola.
Yeah.
So like,
Pay to play, baby.
I'm sure somebody just paid to play them and got them in Kansas City, and that's probably why they're there. But yeah, that's not on a list of places that you would think that you'd certainly want to have it. The only thing that is really gross in this, from my vantage point, is this water break stuff.
And the fact that they're taking commercial breaks, like they've basically effectively split the game into 4 quarters.
It's a clown show.
It's pretty brutal.
That's not how the game
We
goes.
have never needed. By the way, a lot of these are played indoors.
Yeah.
Right.
Like we're taking a water break.
Taking a water break in Mercedes-Benz Stadium
In
today.
Atlanta, they took a water break
Really?
indoors, by the way, and like a lot of the players are like, what is going on? Like, what are we doing?
It really
Like,
does interrupt the flow
it's
of the game.
nonsense. It's
Yeah.
nonsense. And it's just done so that Fox can sell their commercials, and it's just for commercials. That's it. It's got nothing to do with water. They're not playing. The hottest places in America they're playing are all domes.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
it's a joke. That's a joke. But that's FIFA.
Although it is 90 in Seattle today. My sister's actually there as a photographer for
Yeah.
all
Oh,
the
that's
World
cool.
Cup matches.
Yeah, that's cool.
So-
But they play in hot. I mean,
I know.
it's hot in Italy. It's hot
all
in Spain. It's hot in.
It's
you
all
know,
a mess.
It's a bunch
It's
of
all a
jokes.
mess.
They play hot in South America. Like, it's
These
a
guys are
joke.
conditioned to handle it. That's the point.
Yes. Yeah, they are. Yeah. So that, and by the way, we had it in 94. We didn't have water breaks.
That's right.
No.
We're not the hottest climate in the world.
No.
Far from it.
What are we doing?
Did they even have water breaks in 2014 in Rio? Probably not.
Not that I recall.
No, I've never heard of that or seen it.
No.
I mean, that's the equator.
Yeah.
That's hot, kids.
That's real hot. That's real hot.
By the way, somebody, according to Polymarket Sports, this is from 4 hours ago, so they did it. Somebody bet $999,068 on Spain to win. It would have netted them, had they won, about $80,000. Spain did not win.
They lost $1 million on Spain drawing.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
All to win 80,000. They bet $1 million to win 80,000.
Yeah, that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Passive income.
That would be the equivalent.
When it works.
Must be very soft earned dollars if you're dropping $1 million on that.
So, referees have stopped play for water breaks or cooling breaks in past tournaments. First introduced in the 2014 World Cup in Brazil.
Oh.
This is the first year they are mandatory in every single match.
Oh, there you go. So that's your commercial breaks.
Hey, rub some dirt on it. Suck it up. Let's go.
It's not the players.
No,
it's
they don't want
FIFA and it's Fox.
It's money.
It's money.
Yeah, because they never took a commercial break with these things before.
No.
They did hydration breaks.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're taking breaks. Last thing and these are all fun. I saw something this morning of an Englishman who was somewhere in the American South and came across a high school football stadium. And he was like, "What is this?"
What?
It's amazing. It's this English dude, and he's like somewhere in the South, and he stumbles into a high school football stadium, and it's of course like how ours are here, our big places are, a lot like that.
Yeah.
And it's a 15,000 seat high school football stadium with turf and all the things that the fancy ones have in those places. And he's like, if this were in England, this would be in a park, and you'd be dodging dog poo, like high school kids play in front of 15,000 people in the United States.
It's a different world, brother.
It's cool.
It's very cool. I love, and it's
stumbling upon it.
A lot of the things that people have been saying. Look at how, like, there's one. I think it's a group from Japan who's doing kind of writing things. They talked about going to a Mexican restaurant where they got the free chips. And they're like, we haven't earned this yet.
Haven't earned that. Well, Japan's unbelievable. You saw them clean their section.
Oh yeah,
with Winston, Jameis, our guy,
of course, Jameis.
And they're cleaning the section, and then their team cleans their locker room.
Of course, Jameis.
It's incredible. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospital, special healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. We will go around the AFC North. Brian Wacker from the Baltimore Sun is going to join us on Ravens minicamp. What he learned about the new staff there, that is coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Add more fun to your fan of the Valley Bet Sportsbook app. Download today. Get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Valley Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time to head behind enemy lines as we head around the AFC North. Post-mandatory minicamp in the offseason. We start in Baltimore. Brian Wacker, old buddy from the Baltimore Sun, joins us. Brian, thank you so much for taking the time. What was it like not having John Harbaugh at one of these things?
Yeah, a little bit strange, obviously, for first time in 18 years. Not having the franchise's winningest coach, patrolling the sideline and on the field running practice. It was noticeably different, and certainly not just, him not being there, but just the way that Jesse Minter conducts practice and some of the nuances and differences between the two, and obviously an entirely new coaching staff as well.
What are the differences?
Yeah.
What's a Jesse Minter program look like?
It's sort of funny when Jesse's out there, he's sort of hard to spot. John was never really that difficult to spot. He was sort of in his familiar places in the middle of the field and would get involved in special teams, would sometimes pop over to the offensive line. Jesse Minter obviously comes from a defensive background, is trying to spend his time divvied up between the different phases. But, special teams, you don't really see him involved or out there, and he's a little quieter, a little more sort of one-on-one instructive. I would say one of the biggest differences really is on the offensive side with Declan Doyle, the new offensive coordinator, where we're seeing him get hyper-detailed on some of the things he's working on with Lamar Jackson, for example, everything from, kind of Lamar tightening up the huddle and little things like where Lamar's toes are pointed on a read option. So being hyper focused on really small details that you kind of didn't see in the past. And again, not overly vocal. Todd Monken, the former offensive coordinator, obviously now they're in Cleveland, was much, a bit more vocal and a little more boisterous, emotive than maybe Declan Doyle would be. But, a lot of these guys, they sort of look kind of the same when they're out there, both just in terms of the way they're built and sort of the way they carry themselves and the sort of quiet confidence that they conduct practice.
Brian, are they responding to it? You mentioned that, the minutia there that Declan was going over with Lamar. Is he for that? Does it seem like he's up for it?
Well, so far so good. Two things that stand out. Lamar has been in the building an awful lot during the offseason. I know a lot was made of him not being at the first week of OTAs, but he's been there since, and he's been there a lot prior to that. And that's something this time of year, Lamar's attendance, I would say, was very spotty in the past. Part of that, of course, was, familiarity with the head coach and the same system and same offensive coordinator for the past few years. But I think part of it, too, is, perhaps maybe more ownership by Lamar than we've seen in the past and so forth. We've also seen Lamar, if you look at his history with the Ravens, every time they've brought in a new coordinator, for example, this is his fourth different one, I believe, the first 1 to 2 years, he's had unbelievable success. You can look at Greg Roman and the numbers he put up there, rushing for more yards than any quarterback in history. Look at Todd Monken and success he had there. First team to pass for at least 4,000 yards and rush for 3,000 the same season, had career highs in touchdown passes and passing yards in 2 different seasons. So I think there's an expectation that Lamar will certainly elevate his game from last year and perhaps return to some of those, seasons we saw under Monken, maybe those first couple of years. And at least that's the hope and the expectation. But I think just the early buy-in from Lamar is something, we hadn't really seen certainly last year.
How's Derrick Henry looking? Because at some point, Father Time is undefeated. He seems to be the one who can defy that. But how's he looking, and are the expectations that, he can turn in another one of these just incredible seasons?
It's amazing, isn't it? He's 30 years old, 31 years old, and looks the same as he's looked really since he's been in his early 20s. It's remarkable, the shape he's in, the amount of work he puts in to maintain his body. But you're right. At some point, those numbers are going to fall off, and that's going to dissipate. I think it certainly helps enormously to have Lamar Jackson back there, and it'll be interesting to see the running threat. You know, Lamar was not quite the running threat last season that he was in previous years, and that's really key to, I think, Derrick Henry's success is Lamar being not just capable of running, obviously healthy, having gotten over those injuries from last year, but also willing to run. And, you know, there were times last year when he wasn't willing to run, where he told coaches that he wanted certain running plays for him taken out of the game plan. So, you know, Derrick Henry is a guy who looks every bit kind of what you would expect. You know, people also have to remember that he's a guy that sort of takes him a moment to get going once he gets the ball in his hands. He's not a guy that immediately bursts the second he touches the football. It takes about, you know, maybe a half second before he really explodes and turns into the powerful, speedy runner that he is. So I think a lot of it's going to depend on that offensive line. We've had a lot of turnover on the interior, probably for the better, but there's still question marks about the center. And so, you know, I don't know what kind of season he's going to put up. You would certainly expect a 1,000-yard season at least. Is he going to put up 1,500 yards? Hard to say. I think generally when you look at backs, when they do fall off, it happens rather precipitously and quickly. And so, you know, I would kind of expect the same thing to happen to Derrick Henry, but I don't think that'll happen this year. He just doesn't look, you know, he sort of looks like he's always looked, I guess.
Keaton Mitchell's moved on, so it is a little thin behind him in terms of people that have been productive, and certainly, you know, Justice Hill's not going to carry the load in the event that something were to happen there. But thank you for touching on the Lamar thing, because I think that's one of the misconceptions people have. Like, Lamar did not want to run a lot last year, and I'll be curious to see if this year, if he decides, okay, I will run more, because I think it's a big part of what they do, certainly offensively. Flipping it over to the defensive side, obviously the Ravens were involved in one of the biggest, if not the biggest offseason story, at least the early offseason, with the Max Crosby, however you want to label that, out, and in comes Trey Hendrickson. Number one, now that we've had some time, are we going to get a 30 for 30 made on this someday? And feels like we should. And how has Trey Hendrickson been?
Yeah, it certainly was a wild turn of events in about a 4-day span with, you know, them landing Max Crosby and then ejecting, you know, less than 24 hours after Max Crosby is posting Instagram videos with views of the stadium from his hotel room. You know, it's just a very bizarre situation. But now that we're kind of past that, you know, I think Trey Hendrickson, look, they have not had a pass rusher of that ilk probably since, might have to go back to like Terrell Suggs to find a guy who has, you know, that kind of impact from a pass rush standpoint. That said, there's, you know, Hendrickson's also not as complete a player as Max Crosby, who's an elite run defender. And so you do wonder how that will impact the run game defense rather. You know, that was a problem at times last year on the edge. Kyle Van Noy out there on the edge, who in particular struggled. So you do wonder from an edge setting standpoint how these outside linebackers will fare. Now it does help they have Mike Green, kind of started to ascend his you know, back half of his rookie year, second round pick, a highly polarizing player out of Marshall. He should be better. Tavius Robinson coming off a career high 6.5 sacks. He should be, you know, I think that's probably the ceiling for him. Better run defender than pass rusher. Certainly having Hendrickson in the mix helps. But I do think Jesse Minter will raise the floor overall of this defense. I think you'll see a much better defense than you did last year, where there's a lot of confusion, a lot of missed tackles, a lot of poor play, a lot of lack of communication. But there are some question marks, certainly, I think, in the secondary and even up front in that defensive. Nnamdi Madubuike, defensive tackle. There's still questions about whether he'll even be able to play next year. So still a lot of questions to be answered, but I do think, just broadly speaking, this defense should be a lot better with Trey Hendrickson, even though they pivoted away from Max Crosby.
Brian, typically when you make a change like this at the top, and John Harbaugh's been so entrenched there, obviously, when you make a change like this, it's one of two reasons. Either one, you run out of steam, message isn't landing, all of those things, and then the other one would be, well, we need a shot in the arm. I guess maybe those things are linked. Does this feel like the shot in the arm? Because I look at Baltimore, Buffalo, and I'd probably put Cincinnati in that. It's go time, right? I mean, you're running out of time a little bit here to win a Super. I think those three organizations have the most pressure on them to win a Super Bowl with those quarterbacks. Do you sense that sense of urgency with the Ravens?
Well, look, Eric DeCosta has repeatedly said that he doesn't believe in windows of opportunity. Sort of always wants to have the window open. And that's nice and all, but the reality is, to your point, Lamar Jackson's entering his 9th season. He'll be 30 years old in January. He's taking a lot of wear and tear on his body. Obviously, the running element of his game is a big part of it and a big component. And as he gets older, that's only going to get more difficult to maintain. And so, yeah, there is a ton of pressure on them to win now. And I think we saw that urgency in a move like trying to land Max Crosby, not just giving up, one draft pick, but two major, 2 first-round picks. I mean, that's the kind of move that Eric DeCosta has not made ever in his tenure, and he likes to hoard those picks. But, the fact that they backed out of the deal, but the fact that he was even willing to make that deal, even if you want to say, okay, maybe he had some cold feet after the fact, coupled with they didn't like what they saw in his knee, to me that speaks of urgency, because they simply had not made that level of splashy move, giving up what they view as valuable draft capital. So, yeah, I do think there's certainly pressure. And look, that's the reason John Harbaugh was fired, right? I mean, we saw this regression over the past few years. They get to the AFC title game in 2023 season, and that's an enormous gut punch to owner Steve Bisciotti to see it end the kind of way it did here in Baltimore against Kansas City, with the same kind of self-inflicted mistakes that have happened in the past. And then the same thing plays out each of the next 2 years, but they don't advance as far either of those 2 years, losing in the divisional round and then, of course, don't make the playoffs last year. So, I think it was a little surprising to some people in that building, certainly, that Harbaugh was not brought back and that they didn't have one more crack at it. But at the same time, it's an organization that typically likes to make a move 1 year too soon than too late. And I think they viewed it as time, within the organization, just the way, the 2 points you had made at the start of your question, I think really nail, and kind of encompass what the issues were here. And they felt like it was time for a change. But there's definitely pressure on them to get this thing done in the next year or two.
Brian, really appreciate your time and your coverage. Thank you for lending us some information today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
All right, there he goes. Brian Wacker with the Baltimore Sun joining us on the hotline. Gibbe has some questions for us to answer regarding the Baltimore Ravens. Hello, Gibbe.
Hi, gentlemen. Happy Monday.
Good to see you, sir.
Some of the biggest questions for you to answer regarding the Ravens in 2026. Number one, Lamar Jackson has 2 years left on his deal. Both sides have said they want to do an extension. How long would you be willing to extend Lamar? Could you make an argument to not extend him?
I can't make an argument to not extend him. I would think that both he and them, that's hard to know what's in a player's head, but I would think that a short, a 3 to 4 year thing would be something that both would be into. There's nothing here that proves. I mean, he was injured a little bit last year, played 13 games, and obviously it was down from the previous year. And as Z alluded to, he didn't really want to run much last year. But there's really not much here that leads you to believe that he's not going to be good for the next 3 to 5 years, at least top half of the league good. And you know how hard it is to find one. So I wouldn't want to get into a match. It means the face of the franchise. To me, so I think a short deal would make sense.
They are concerned because there's 2 years left on his deal at $104 million left to pay him. So that's why they're there is some pressure to get this done now
for cap purposes.
Kind of
like the Mahomes
next
thing.
Year. Yeah. The problem is Lamar is represented by Lamar.
Yeah, that's always tough.
Which has been a nightmare from day one.
Yeah.
So I would obviously you want to extend him. And for the sake of this program, I would say here's the reason that maybe you don't. The reality is if he is not willing to run and then become solely a passer, we really don't know what that looks like. The only thing that we kind of know what that looks like is last year. And last year was not his most productive season by any stretch of the imagination. Completion percentage was the lowest it's been since 2022. His success percentage was the lowest it's been since 2022, which was when Monken came in, the year before Monken comes in. Monken comes in and gets him going really as a passer. What made him so dangerous is not only that he was running, for example, in 2023 and 2024, he throws for 36, 78, and 24, and also runs that very same season. He also, as a runner, runs for 821 and 5. The next year, he has the greatest season maybe ever a quarterback's ever had, if we're being honest about it.
Probably true.
Where he throws for 4,100, 41 touchdowns, 4 picks, 41 touchdowns, 4 picks, 41.72 in yards, and also runs for 915 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging 6.6 yards a carry. So this is a guy that for his career, part of what made him so good was his running. And here was from 19 on, 80 yards a game, 67, 64, 64, 51, 54. Last year, 27.
Dude, you have his Pro Football up.
Yep.
Do the attempts. He ran half as much. The
Yep.
next closest, he ran 67 times last year. The previous low for him was 112.
Yep.
When
And
he
that
only
was in 12 games. So that's
But the year before he played 12 games and ran 133.
right.
I mean, his best year, which I agree with you, is probably the greatest single season a quarterback's ever had. He ran it 139 times, 140 times. Like, he just stopped.
So, right. For me, that's if you were the one case you would make is he as valuable to you if he is not doing that as he is when he is doing it? And the answer is no. Now, can he what does it look like for Lamar Jackson? I certainly wouldn't bet against him.
No.
That's just me, my personal take. But that would be the reason that you're not doing this long term, because if he becomes just strictly a pocket passer, he's going to be good. He is not going to be amongst the league's elite. At least it does not appear that way at this time.
No. I think that's fair.
Up next, Fact or Fiction. This is the year that Derrick Henry finally shows us his age. He's 32 years old.
Jeez.
Derrick Henry last year, still 5.2 yards a carry. I mean, his 2
That's
years in
crazy,
Baltimore
dude.
have been significantly, obviously better. So around for 15.95 and 16 last year. It's really hard to know. Now, you know, it's you would have thought it was coming when he left Tennessee. It felt like that's where it was going to happen. Now he gets paired with a running quarterback, and obviously the sky is the limit. At some point, when you have 2,662 carries on your being and have had at least 303 of the last 4 years and have had at least 280 in all 4 of the last 4. He's led the league over the last 7 years. He's led the league in rushing attempts 4 times. It's got to happen. I mean, his touches the last 4 years, 382, 308, 344, 322. At some point, it's got to happen. Again, wouldn't bet against him. And I do think it is somehow or somewhat linked to what does he get out of Lamar as well. Where is Lamar Jackson, and what is his willingness to really help him, you know, get those better looks and be the stud that he is. As we went through last year, it was interesting. He finished his last 4 games were the best 4-game stretch he had all season.
It's amazing.
11 for 100 against the Bengals in a blowout win, 18 for 128 and 2 in a loss to New England, 36, 216 and 4 in a win over Green Bay, which won many people fantasy championships, and then the final game of the year against Pittsburgh, he had 20 for 126. So he averaged at least 6 yards a carry in 5 of the last 6 games. Do I think he's slowing down? No. Is it going to happen at some point? Yes, it's got to. But is Derrick Henry a complete freak? Absolutely.
So you, I'm trying to think. I just wanted to pull this up. You could have had Derrick Henry for a bucket of balls
After the last year in
after the last year in
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yep.
It's a 2-year deal for $16 million.
Yep.
And then he ran for 1,900 yards year one in Baltimore.
Yep.
And you could have made a
The
case
Dallas
for him
Cowboys.
to be the MVP.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys could have had him, and that was it. It was between Dallas and then Baltimore got him, but nobody thought this. I'm past doubting him.
Yeah.
To your point, the fact that his best games last season were at the end of the year, it's crazy.
It's hard to believe. Yeah.
Fact or fiction, Zay Flowers is the best wide receiver in the AFC North behind Jamar Chase.
I think fiction on that. I know statistically he was good last year. I think 82, 1,200, something like that.
I want to see T. Higgins.
I would have Higgins better than him too.
And you have DK Metcalf, you have our guys.
Yeah, it's
Like-
it's all of a sudden a pretty darn, and Michael Pittman's in the division now. Zay Flowers is very good, different type of a receiver than I think T would be. I am a big T. Higgins fan.
Yeah.
Got it. Same. I think all of us are.
Yep.
Bigger off-season loss for the Ravens. Tyler Linderbaum, the star center, or tight end Isaiah Likely.
Tyler Linderbaum
Not only because
by a wide
not only
margin.
because he's an All-Pro and all of that, but because they drafted him, they curated him, and he left. Those type of players don't historically leave Baltimore. That was stunning that he left. Stunning. And he's the middle of their offensive line, all of it. And he's one of the best centers in the league, all of that. But just the idea that he a second-round pick who was drafted by them? Usually they keep those guys. I mean, the fact that he's not their next – who are their homegrown guys who leave before they want him to? I can't think
Not
of
many.
any.
That's kind of how they operate.
Maybe a linebacker or two.
There was probably somebody we're forgetting.
Did he go to
Linderbaum's
the
a stud.
Jets or the Patriots?
Did Roquan leave? But that was a trade.
No,
wasn't
No,
it?
they brought Roquan in.
Or they brought him
Patrick
in.
Queen left.
Patrick Queen left.
But that's
Patrick
because
Queen
they
left. brought in.
They
yeah.
brought in Roquan.
Yeah, so there's just not an example of guys homegrown.
And the only reason why I bring that up,
Yes, it's fair.
I get the whole Linderbaum thing and everything about him, but Likely's your up-and-coming tight end. You have an aging tight end.
And Mark Andrews.
It's fair. It's fair.
And your skill position guys are all up there in age.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not impressed by their skill position group. I think that
agree.
they are. I think that they are. A Derrick Henry injury would be crushing. They've got Justice Hill, Rasheen Ali, a 5th-round pick this year, Adam Randall, and then a couple of undrafted free agents. That's it at running back. That's the list. They are wide receivers. You've got Zay Flowers and Bateman, sure. Devontae Walker is maybe the most efficient receiver we've ever seen, but he has not been featured in any way, shape, or form that would lead you to believe that he is ready to take on a bigger role. Guy's got 7 catches for 157 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's incredible to me. They've thrown the ball 11 times. 4 times they've been touchdowns. But we're counting on a big step for a guy that was not entrusted to play a big role at any point despite that. You got Elijah Surratt, and Jacoby Lane, so your 3rd-round pick and your 4th-round pick this year, but those are certainly far from sure things. Now, the Ravens have been a pretty good drafting team. Mark Andrews out. You've got Durham Smythe, who's not really the pass-catching guy that if he were to go down, and then Matt Hibner, who they drafted in the 4th, and Josh Cuevas they drafted in the 5th. But they're just thinner than they've been in terms of proven options out there. And Mark Andrews, to your point, Gibbe, coming off of, really, he had that big 1,300-yard season in 21, was a Pro Bowler again in 22 with 847 and 5. Touchdown numbers have been pretty steady and good, but 422, lowest yards in his career, lowest yards per catch, 8.8. His career average is 12.3. It feels like, has he fallen off? That's why they drafted 2 tight ends. But again, it's just not that easy to replace elite production. I would be as a Ravens fan, I talk a lot of the time about, people love our defense, and I think people love the Ravens offense, but they are a few, and I'm not talking Lamar injury, because that's an obvious one. You lose your starting quarterback in this league, that's a problem in most cases. And if it's not, he was not amongst the elite in the league. But I'm saying, I talk about our edge room, our linebacker, our corner being one. I think that's where they are, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. But
I'm going to tell you something else. It's a brand new interior of their offensive line, too.
Yep. John Simpson's a good player. The center issue is a real issue.
But I mean, that's new faces.
Yeah.
They may be. They're going to be an interesting team to follow.
One
Like
last
if you
one.
just play this game, and I know we'll do it with
Yeah.
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh too. Like I have a feeling Cincinnati's going to be way more impressive looking
Yes.
at this than these
Yep.
guys are.
Agreed. Real quick, Ravens' best player on defense is A, Trey Hendrickson, B, Roquan Smith, C, Kyle Hamilton.
See,
I think it's C or
for
B. But Kyle Hamilton's a stud.
yeah, they're good there. That's what's weird. Like defensively, I think they should be fine.
Yep.
And they went and hired a defensive coach. I would have hired an offensive coach because they got some deficiencies there. Second hour of the program coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Cleveland's next chapter is here. A new era of Browns football begins in 2029. Your path to being part of it starts today. Place your deposit now at newhuntingtonbankfield.com to reserve your spot and be one of the first to choose your seats in our brand new home. Time for your weekend headlines. Hello, Gibby.
Hi again, everybody.
Hey, buddy.
Good to talk to you all.
And you.
Quite the weekend. You guys spent a few minutes talking
Really
about
was, yeah.
in that first segment. Little World Cup action going on right now, and Egypt up 1-0 on Belgium coming out of the locker room.
That's a good match.
I'm going to bring in my resident golf expert for the World Cup.
Soccer expert, yeah.
Golf, soccer, sure. We were just talking about golf in the break. That's why it's in my head.
That's right. You're fine.
The G-Man with his top 5 matches from the weekend, and then fire away at any questions about Team USA.
Go ahead, G-Man.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Best match so far has definitely been Japan and the Netherlands. That was my one. It was a 2-2 draw. The Netherlands led twice. Japan came back to equalize twice, including once in the 89th minute, I believe it was. And the broadcasters were like, why do they keep trying to cross it? They don't have a height advantage. Stop crossing it. Why are they crossing it? And lo and behold, a cross, a header, tie game for Japan. And you love the Japanese fans as well, staying after to clean up the stadium.
They cleaned
That's
up their
just pure class.
rooting section, and then the national team cleaned up the locker room. Like, they folded all the used towels.
Awesome.
Like, it was just amazing. And their goalie, correct me if I'm wrong, is an American. He's born here, right?
Yes.
Suzuki?
Yep.
Yeah.
Suzuki. He was born in New Jersey,
I think you have that right, yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 over the weekend was the Brazil and Morocco game, which was also a draw, 1-1. But that was the only top 10 showdown that you're going to get in the group stages. I think Brazil is a little disappointing, and I was really impressed with Morocco's midfield.
I think that's fair. I think for an older generation, I mean, the last time the World Cup was here was 94. Brazil won it. It was not a pantheon Brazilian team. Romario was their best player. They were fine, but it wasn't like some of the teams that have been in the late 90s, early 2000s that had like Ronaldinho and Kaká and Ronaldo and all those guys, Roberto Carlos. Like, those were like, they had like 4 FIFA Player of the Years on those teams. What's happened to Brazilian soccer?
Great question.
I don't know, man.
Like, Italy's not even here, and they've
Nope.
won it 4 times. Brazil's won it the most. They don't seem to be anywhere near the
Brazil's
top.
fullbacks are really concerning to me.
Yeah.
I think if they do, well, I mean, they will make it out of the group stage. But
Right.
when they get to the knockout stage, if you run into a team that has good wingers, I think they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
It's the only person that I thought that showed anything is Vinny,
It was Vinny.
who's
Yep.
stud, one of the best in the world. But like, outside of that, I thought that they were pretty. For what you expect Brazil to be, they were not.
Yeah, and with Carlo Ancelotti, too, as their
Love-
manager.
love that guy,
won
Don Carlo.
multiple Champions Leagues with Real Madrid. It was just they really did look super underwhelming. They were careless with the ball. I think, especially in the
Yeah.
first half, they turned it over a ton.
Well,
And
the
Morocco
one
was
goal, they just right down the middle. It's right down the spine.
yeah.
It's
Morocco
crazy.
was content
Right
to
down
just
the
make
spine.
right down.
Morocco was content to just make it a track meet. So
Yeah.
third best game actually was on the opening day. South Korea and Czechia 2-1. That was a late winner for South Korea. And number 4, I actually have this Spain and Cape Verde game that happened just before our show came on the air. Stupefying that Spain was unable to break through the Cape Verde low block. That is a 0-0 draw, and it's a shocking result because
I
there's
am-
Stunning.
no reason.
I think I am pretty good at geography. I don't know where Cape Verde is.
Nope.
Do you?
I know where salsa verde is.
That
And it's often on a taco of mine.
It's a real delight. You know how big of a fan I am of salsa verde. Where the hell is Cape Verde?
It feels to me like it's got to be off
Caribbean?
of the coast of South
It's
America.
in Africa.
It's in Africa.
In Africa. Didn't
I
have
got
that.
nothing. I
And
never would have guessed that.
What
Never
was the
heard of
country that you said was playing South Korea?
Czechia, the Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, the Czech Republic.
Spain was pretty stupefying.
So somebody else, one guy lost $1 million. Some other person bet $480K that Spain would not win, draw, or loss, and won like $5 million.
I bet they did. Yeah, pretty long odds on anything other than a Spanish win.
And then at 5, just because I enjoyed it so much. The United States beats Paraguay 4-1. Gas pedal was on. We looked like we were moving like prime Barcelona out there.
I thought it was the best I've ever seen Team USA play.
Hands down, it was the best game I've ever watched.
And I've been to USA Mexico qualifiers, Dos Aceros, all that. I've never seen Team USA play
possession.
better.
Flo Balogun was unplayable.
So the story on him's crazy.
It is. He should not be American.
No. So he's Nigerian, right? But raised in England. But the reason that he has American, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, his mother was pregnant with him in New York or Boston.
Brooklyn. I believe it
Was
was
that where it
Brooklyn.
was? He was raised in London. She's going to get on a flight to head back to London to have him. And the person at, I want to say United Airlines, says, you are way too far along to fly, keeps her here. He's born in the United States, which allows him to play for Team USA.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story. And
That's nuts.
He's been the clear first-choice striker, and he was really, really impressive.
Plays
on
for
Friday night.
Monaco.
For AS Monaco, yep. That's the top French league.
That's right.
And we've got depth at the position, too. I mean, Haji Wright of Coventry City, who's coming up to the Premier League this year. I thought Pulisic was really good, too.
And he was out at half for cautionary reasons or whatever.
Just because they had that luxury.
This is deep in the weeds, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But real quickly, like the notion that Berhalter's kid and Reyna's kid were both in at the same time after all the drama that they had the last World Cup is pretty wild.
And then Reyna scored a worldie.
He did, yeah.
All right, G-Man. Don Gabriel. The most exciting game on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Oh, man, I have to pull the schedule up.
Well,
Wednesday is England-Croatia. That's easy.
Tomorrow you get France and Argentina tomorrow. They both play tomorrow.
You get
Not
Argentina
against each
playing
other.
Algeria, and I'll tell you what, the
That'll be
people in
fun.
Lawrence, Kansas
That's such a cool story.
are loving Algeria. So Algeria's training there, and they've welcomed them with open arms.
cool.
We're even getting rock chalk Algeria.
So cool.
It's
Yeah,
really
so
cool.
I was just there in March, and that town is really small, and I'm guessing they're probably staying at the hotel I stayed at, which is the Oriad, which is right on campus. Really nice hotel. It overlooks the whole campus, and then right at the base of the hill is the football stadium. David Booth basically renovated the whole stadium. It's stunning. But it is stupefying to me that like a national team is there.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy.
because that's a college town.
But
that is Lawrence.
their facilities are stunning. So like it's from that perspective, it would be up to it for sure.
For sure. So tomorrow's top match is going to be France and Senegal. Senegal's pretty good. We played them with our last tune-up, or it might have been second to last tune-up before the World
First
Cup.
tune-up. First
Tune-up.
first.
So this was before we played Germany, I believe.
It's the Germans, by the way.
Yes.
Yes, the Germans.
The Germans.
Kai Havertz.
I'm impressed with what I've seen from Germany.
France and Senegal will be a big game. You get to see how legit Senegal really is. They've got a couple nice players, Sadio Mane, Nicholas Jackson, who used to play for Chelsea. Mr. Zagura, front row.
Question for somebody who's not as dialed in and hasn't been looking at the schedule. When do we get into the knockout stage? When will that begin?
Two more group games and then
Yep, that'll be a little bit further down the
USA
road.
plays Friday.
Like, are we talking like July?
Oh yeah,
It'll be a few
because
weeks.
you got US plays Friday in Seattle, then they play the following Wednesday, and then knockout.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're a couple weeks.
Okay.
Wednesday, England, Croatia, without a doubt.
Yep.
Thursday is likely Mexico and South Korea. And then Friday's our game, I think. Although Scotland and Morocco play on Friday, and I don't know how frisky Scotland really is.
Who
But
cares, man? They got kilts and
They're
dancing
fun.
around Fenway.
That's
They're
what do you
fun.
want?
Yeah.
Great whiskey.
They're fun.
It's a great country.
Yeah.
God bless them.
Yeah,
Great
so
whiskey.
They do. They know what
They
they're
call
doing
it
over
scotch.
there. They know what they're doing.
love the World Cup. It's picking up, and it will
been
get us
fun.
through June and July. And then it's on to training camp, and here we go.
No, we don't have to get it. Let that take its time. It'll be here before we know it.
Yes. 90 days.
It's been fun though. I've enjoyed it.
Yes.
All right. I think we might have to do something daily with the G-Man.
That's fine.
Yes.
The World Cup watch.
World Cup daily with G-Man.
Go with Gabriel.
Totally stealing this from Dan Patrick's show, but I thought it was a great question. What is the most shocking headline from this year in sports? Indiana wins the college football national championship.
That one.
Yep.
Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP, and the Knicks win the NBA championship.
Indiana.
It's Indiana.
Because it's not a level playing field in that sport.
It's
College
not a
football, Nate says this is unfathomable.
They are the losingest program in the history of the sport.
0 5 stars. 0.
None.
Not a 1.
And they won it. Yeah, it's Indiana. All of them are improbable, but that one is. We at least had seen Darnold play at a high level in Minnesota
Last year, right.
Yeah, no, the Indiana. That's
Stupefying.
It's impossible. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the NBA playoffs came to an end. 24 hours later, the NHL playoffs came to an end. They'll start up again next week, it feels like, because the NHL plays for 8 months
Yeah.
in the regular season. The Hurricanes secured their second Stanley Cup in franchise history. They take out the Vegas Golden Knights. Quick little fun note that I found in prepping for this. Eric Tulsky joined the Carolina Hurricanes as a consultant in 2014.
Okay.
He has a degree from Harvard, a PhD in chemistry from Cal Berkeley. He currently holds 27 U.S. patents before his career in hockey. He spent a decade in Silicon Valley as a nanotechnologist.
Okay.
All right. Today, he is the GM of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Wow. That's wild. So Don Waddell, who's the general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets, was the general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes from 2014 to 2024. So he was part of kind of the building of all of this. So from a local tie, if you like the Blue Jackets, maybe there's reason for hope there. The other thing that's crazy about this is Jordan Stahl won the Conn Smythe. He's the oldest player to ever win the Conn Smythe. At 37 years of age. He was acquired for a first-round pick, I want to say, and G-Man would know this as a Pens fan, I want to say in 2009 from the Penguins to go play with his brother Eric, who was there. And they won the Cup. And the crazy thing about it is it's like almost entirely homegrown guys or guys they acquired. Like it's not a free agent destination. It's just they drafted really well and made some really savvy trades. So,
two final quick notes. Steve Sarkisian, the head coach at Texas, on with Up and Adams.
okay.
Not ruling out the possibility of Arch Manning returning to Texas in 2027. Quote, we haven't had the discussion, but I will tell you I would not be surprised. I think Arch really loves college football. I really do.
Yeah, I bet.
I think he loves the University of Texas. He does pretty good through NIL. He's got some pretty good endorsements going right now, which is a credit to him.
So, depending, you don't know really what to believe in the NIL world.
Correct.
But just talking to people that I talk to and ballparking what some of the Ohio State most popular players make, and that being upwards of 5-6 million, something like that, I would hazard to guess that Arch is probably like 7. He's the highest paid one, right? So, can you blame him?
No way. You get paid to live the dream. Matt Leinart did it for free.
He did it for free.
He's like, I like this. I'm
good
going to
life.
stay here for free.
Yeah.
This is not that.
No.
I think you might see a lot more of that. Why wouldn't you?
What would be the hurry?
No hurry. There's no time like college, and everybody knows that. And especially when you are the big man on campus, like, what, like,
There's no pressure. It's not a job. Like you can fake school. Like it's so good. And the other thing, just from this is just the reality of it, because he has the extra year of eligibility, and even if he didn't have the NIL, I still think he would consider playing his senior year, as both of his uncles did. And they don't need the money from a family standpoint. But if he doesn't like who's picking number 1, go back.
go back.
Exactly.
Peyton did that. He didn't want to play for the St. Louis Rams. Really liked being a Tennessee Volunteer, so he went back. That's very
calculus
realistic.
is totally different now. Yeah.
It's very, very different.
Finally today from Darren Ravel, the chair that Taylor Swift sat in for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Knicks has sold on the Realist for $7,000. How did someone? What is going on?
Hello.
There's lots of people with.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's very nice.
What's
It's like
going
a
on?
They're really
paparazzi
shooting the heck
thing
out of it.
going
It's
on.
very nice.
Outside.
Yeah, nice to see
Yes.
you. Nice to
How about
see
them
you.
apples?
Hello.
Giving tours. Nice to see
All
you.
right.
I don't
Feel
know
a
what
little
that
bit
is.
I feel like a zoo animal.
Like
There's
the
a
lions.
lot of people
I feel
holding
like a zoo
phones.
animal, but I don't
mean,
mind it.
a
Yeah,
lot.
It's all right. Nice to see you. Great
Yeah.
to see you guys.
We don't really know
Yes. Hello. Good to see you.
I don't know what's going on.
All right. All right.
Uh,
I don't know. I'd like
all
to
right.
inquire with some of them about what the nature of this visit might be.
Little kegger out at the Moon Tower.
Yeah.
You in?
I don't know what's going on. I've never felt like this before.
exactly.
I don't know if I should take my clothes off.
Oh no.
I think that's frowned upon.
I don't think
and
they want.
that-
I don't think that. That's probably not what is.
No, that's not the
leads
right
to
thing.
a
There we go.
host of
I'm
problems.
just saying, I've never sat somewhere and just been stared at by 40 people.
And the fact that everybody
And I
came
don't know what
running
they're.
up
I
to
don't
the
know what they're
window
looking.
with
I don't know what they're
phones.
looking for.
It's
So-
a real tour.
Yeah, I meant. By the way, just shirt only.
I mean,
I don't know that makes it any better. I mean,
think so.
slightly,
Hello.
minimally
everybody
better.
came running
He's
to
really
the window with
cheesing.
phones.
they love it. There
They're
you go.
cheesing. There it is.
Yeah, it's a nice hat.
That's
One
lovely.
of them's
Yeah.
wearing.
I don't
A lot
know
of
how
white
someone
pants.
got
A lot of white
Taylor
pants.
Swift.
I really don't know what the heck is going on right now.
Someone needs
I'm
to come
very
in here and
confused.
explain this to us right now. What the hell is going on out there?
All
Give me
right.
somebody with an
That
orange
was a
helmet
lovely
on a
wave. Thank
Give me
you.
an orange helmet with
Thank
a
you
polo.
very much.
Where are they all
Hello.
going?
Hi. How are you,
That's right. I don't know.
Corey? What is going on? out
Corey,
there? Corey,
what is
turn
going
around.
on?
What's going on? What's the meaning of this?
I don't even know how we could describe. No, as you were
It was
saying,
a
Gibby.
horde of people.
Yes.
Yep.
You said
And not,
it, man.
and also, I would just say,
you said it.
not what would we
Not
have this-
typical.
not the typical group that we're used
No.
to seeing.
I
Usually,
might.
you have students, you have kids, you've got groups.
I might rank this as a top one
It's a
group
top
I've
one.
ever seen.
It's a top one of
walking
one
through
group.
here.
I've never seen a group like that
Yeah.
before. No,
That's right.
as you were saying, Gibby.
So I don't know who got how they came
Someone
in
needs to get
contact
someone in
with
an
Taylor
orange polo
Swift's chair,
needs to-
but
I'm
I'm
gonna
realistic.
find out.
So
I'm
We got to
I'm
get to the
gonna-
bottom of
I'm
that
could have owned it.
right away. Oh, the Swift chair, $7,000.
$7,000. I don't know how.
I think that's
how
a
did
bargain.
someone get the chair?
First of all, that one I totally get because I think she's reached the point of like Elvis, Michael Jackson, like anything
A toothbrush from a hotel
for sure.
Could
She's
go
that
for
level. I thought the Kylie Jenner one for $1,700 felt like a steal to me.
Yeah.
And the Ben Stiller one was only $700.
I'd have gone with that.
Did you see my tweet? Bootsy's really taking full liberties.
Really?
Oh yeah.
He can't wait. Every time
He loves it.
he sees Stiller at a game, hey, it's
Yep.
every time.
I think you can say that.
You can't say it on the radio.
You can't say
because
their
it-
actual name.
Let's-
No, you can't because it
Yeah.
leads to panic and people
not
mishear, and if you don't
say
have
we
context,
did.
it's just like
I
the
prefer not to.
Meet
Thank
the
you,
he's right.
parents.
Yeah, no, everybody knows, but I just think you can't. Like,
I mean, one of the movies is even meet
just
the.
like I know it,
Not
I know
parents.
it, but you can't. I don't think you can say it on the radio. Thing or not a thing?
Potentially, or maybe just one little quick segment because Mr. Bajakian comes up.
Oh,
at
that's right.
40.
We got. Yeah, that's right. Mike's coming up. All right, you listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sportsman party of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. The car, truck, or motorcycle accident caused you injury. Call the injury lawyers at 1-800-ELK, Ohio for a free case review. Elk & Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Hard to believe it, but 11 teams have mini camps this week, including the Bengals. So one more full week of NFL business, my friend.
That's stunning. And then you had, the
late, man.
Like the Niners were like, we're out of here. No mini camp. I can't believe they're still going on. I mean, this place in certain segments of this building, ghost town. Yeah.
Goners. It's really interesting how this particular topic, like the off-season program, a lot of things in the NFL, it's groupthink. Well, they're doing it, so let's all do it, and then eventually everyone does everyone kind of conforms. The off-season program is kind of the one thing that nobody knows what to do with it. They don't. You mentioned the Niners. They're like, yeah, we're good. Others have done that. Some are maximizing it. Some are, if you look at what we did here, this was by far, the most involved OTA practice situation we've ever had.
Ever.
We've never had anything like this. We've never had minigame practices like the ones we had last week, ever. I guess I can't say forever. I've seen it with Hugh, and I've seen it with Freddie, and I've seen it with Kevin, and now with Todd. I've never seen mandatory minicamp practices like the ones we had. I've never seen OTA like we had. So who knows what the right way is? It's like the one last thing where everybody's kind of on their own trying to figure out what works best for their teams.
Yeah, and listen, like you talked about the variance. You had Rams do nothing and win Super Bowls. You have teams who go like all out and maximize every minute and win Super Bowls, and you have teams who do the opposites and have the same things and have terrible seasons. So no, I'm with you. It's not a thing that you would certainly. I don't think there is a tried and true answer. I do think there's something to understanding your team and where it's at and what it's made up of. I think it makes all the sense in the world to have a young football team like the Cleveland Browns be practicing very, very hard and practicing a lot. I think it also makes a lot of sense for a very veteran-laden team like the Los Angeles Rams or the 49ers to say, okay, our principal players, they got it. Like, we're good. So I think there's certainly something to that about it, but there are many ways to do this, and at the end of the day, all that matters is whatever ends up being right for the team that went on to win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. And I think this, I know you and I talk about this when we mentor younger kids or whatever. Like, I always tell any kid that, comes in or asks opinion, be honest to you.
Be true to yourself, 100%. You got to be you, because faking it is too hard.
It's not worth it.
It's not. No.
It's never going to work. Comes off disingenuous, and so you got to. It's got to be what you believe in and who you are as a person.
Yes.
And if you do that, you should be okay with it. But I think Cincinnati is right there with. Although honestly, like after having examined Baltimore, I don't know that this does not feel like a Super Bowl contender to me.
No,
they don't.
I would agree with that. Now their defense does feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Wouzier, Marlon Humphrey, Wiggins. Now, he said they had questions in the secondary, which I thought was interesting, but they also have Hamilton Starks, and they brought in Jalen Hawkins, who was a very nice free agent signing. I kind of like their secondary. Roquan Smith is pretty good as your off-ball linebacker. Is there another pass rusher along with Hendrickson? What's the status of Matabike? But I just think offensive injuries happen. To me, they're not where they need to. They're not.
They don't look to me like how, I guess before I looked
like they
at
did
this,
last year.
You nailed it. Yep, that's it. Also, while we were out on Friday, the Seahawks unveiled their Super Bowl rings. On the surface, they look pretty damn good.
Yes.
A little blue in the background, a lot of diamonds. I like it. It really pops. I mean, their previous one they went almost entirely diamonds, but with this one, it looks like, if you want to see it, this one they added a lot more blue. So that's the first one, and then this is the second one.
That's nice. It actually looks like reasonable. It doesn't have like anything crazy going on.
Is there something we're missing from a crazy standpoint? Is there some sort of
mechanism
mechanism that opens it?
That opens it up, and then wings come out.
Yeah.
Makes it look like Lumen Field.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I've heard. Like that's what that's supposed to symbolize.
That's what it's supposed
that's
to
cool,
symbolize.
Kev. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with it. Those look good. 2 Super Bowls for those guys. They were pretty hapless. Yeah, they've been to 3. They were pretty hapless when we were kids.
Yeah.
Largent, Dave Craig, but they were never anything in terms
Craig
of contenders.
fumbled way too often.
He did. Small hands.
Small hands. Nomads,
Wasn't there a McGuire that played
Smell
there?
like cabbage.
Dan McGuire.
First round pick.
San Diego State.
Yeah.
6'7". Yeah. Mark was.
I don't know that he threw 100 passes in his NFL career.
No, I think he's one of the. He never gets brought up, but he's probably one of the biggest busts in NFL history.
Yep.
Just because he never even got, like, people were even like, oh yeah, I want to give him a shot. I don't even know if he landed on the second team.
He did not. Come on, I'm still human.
While you're looking that up, we got to get to Coach Mike Bajakian coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. And welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. As always, we are presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Time to the podium now, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here's your quarterback coach, Mike Bajakian.
So specifically about Shador, what have you seen from him from a developmental standpoint over even just the past 3 weeks, really?
I'd say the past, 10 or 12 weeks, whatever it's been, he's done a great job of defining his footwork, playing with a base, learning the offense, working his butt off to really master his craft. And it's been fun to watch. He's done a really good job. He's gone like that. He's getting through progressions faster, and his feet are matching that mindset.
A lot of talk has been about that footwork, and I was curious, like, what does the work behind the scenes look like to master footwork? And I feel like that's maybe, like, you can comment more on it, but, like, is that maybe one of the hardest things to really work on with a young quarterback?
Yes and no. They got to buy into it, and he's bought into it. You know, you're going to coach the finer points of drop technique and playing with a base and all that, and he has been receptive to everything. And that's been it's been great. It's been very refreshing. All our guys have. You know, Deshaun been playing a long time for a lot of different coaches, and from the start, you know, I said, "How have you done this in the past?" On something we were working on. He goes, "Coach, I did this, but how do you want it done?" And that speaks volumes to what these guys are trying to accomplish. They're all in, and they're all trying to get better in every way.
It's been so long since Deshaun's played in a game. So, is there anything different about how you kind of brought him along in this offseason program to get him back to where you want to see him?
I wouldn't say there's been anything different. He has attacked it with the right mindset, and that's, you know, more than half the battle. You can see there were things he was rusty on early on, and he even said to me, you know, you've seen him over the last few days throw what we call the stop route to Denzel a few times. Okay, he missed that throw 3 or 4 times in OTAs, and I said, man, that was a T-shaped rep from drop technique to ball location to timing. He said, Coach, I had to get that timing down. So he's made a ton of progress also.
In what ways have you seen Deshaun come along or improve, even just from week 1 of the OTAs to now?
For him, he's been exposed to so much over his career. He's done things a lot of different ways. He's been in a lot of different offenses. So the biggest thing for him was being able to translate what we're doing to something he's done in the past. And he's an extremely fast processor, very smart guy. He's, again, been working his butt off. The amount of preparation he put in before we even were able to get our hands on him in phase 1. He came in and we started talking about schemes and concepts and techniques, and he would refer back to the Baltimore video and said and refer to things that Lamar was doing. It was obvious to us that before we had even got him on campus here, that he had done a lot of work, of video work and things like that, and that's pretty cool. So in terms of his greatest growth, it's been mastering the procedure at the line of scrimmage, the checks and you know, the motions and the protections and all that other stuff. And granted, he's got a very good foundation to translate it back to, but he's made a huge jump from day 1 to now.
Todd's been real vocal on how ideally you'd have a quarterback starter named by now, right? Heading into training camp, but that's not going to be the case. So what do you think are the biggest challenges when you show up for training camp is, okay, how do you get one guy prepared when you're still dealing with 2 guys in the field?
I'm not quite following the challenges of preparing both of them and evaluating them. You know, you're kind of like we've done all spring long. They'll rotate, right, and they will get they'll get their reps. And I think that the beauty of what training camp will give you that OTAs and minicamp hasn't given you is more live bullets, frankly. And it's a little bit easier to make a faster evaluation when you have a defensive line that's coming at you full speed, when you really have to react to the full speed aspect of the game. And so that is, I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as, hey, it should, I would think, it should declare itself pretty quickly. And, you know, obviously we got the preseason games and all that other stuff, but yeah, it's, it allows you to evaluate faster.
coach says that both quarterbacks want the sort of smoke of what it takes in this offense on the quarterback in terms of responsibility, line, and all those kinds of things. With Deshaun having so much experience doing that sort of thing, can Shedeur catch up to the point where he can be where Deshaun is when you make this decision, when you have apples to apples kind of?
Absolutely. Shedeur's done a great job. They've both done a great job with that. And I love Coach's approach to install and how we're challenging them. We've thrown a ton at them from a volume standpoint, from an install standpoint, in terms of cadence, procedure, the ability to drive the car and get us in and out of the right plays. And they've embraced it, and they've both done a great job of it. So I credit Coach's philosophy of throwing it at them early, and you know, it's almost like, hey, you got to sink or swim, and they're both swimming.
Going back to what you were talking about, you know, when guys are feeling the rush as you progress through the off season. Like this time of year, how do you coach playing on time for your guys?
Rhythm and footwork. You know, every play. The keys to the pass game are timing and spacing, right? Timing and spacing. So we talk a lot to the quarterbacks. You would ask a question about footwork. We hammer the quarterbacks on the appropriate footwork that corresponds to the timing and spacing of the concept. So, you know, you can tell without the full speed rush whether their timing is off, their timing mechanism's off with their drop technique. So it's not hard. The pictures still declare quickly enough that you can know whether they would be on time or not.
And when you review the practice film, like is it actually like there's almost like a shot clock? Do you like have a numeral to go with every release?
I would no, I don't. I don't think that. I think it's more so based on is their footwork matching the route concept that we're running, and that to me is how you evaluate that.
I know now you guys have been into it for months, but how excited were you for Todd to get this chance as a head coach? I know you've known him for a long time.
Yes, I worked with Todd with Coach Monken out in Tampa, and I'd been a coordinator at the college level for 8 years prior to going to Tampa Bay, and I had a stint in the NFL, but as a coordinator, you know, I was doing what we did, you know, and we were a quote-unquote spread offense. And when I went to Tampa with Coach Monken and Coach Dirk Cutter, for me it was like a re-education. I mean, I learned at the age of 40 when I went there, I learned and grew tremendously in my 4 years there. And so I valued that time I had with him, and in the next 7 years or so when I went on back to college and became a coordinator, I relied so heavily on what I learned from them and learned from him that when the opportunity to come here presented itself, again, it was an opportunity for me to grow and continue to learn. Here I am, I'm 51 years old, I've been coaching 31 years, but for me it's about, hey, how can I continue to challenge myself and continue to grow personally and professionally.
What are you getting out of the GoPros?
What are we getting?
Yeah.
More than anything, you're getting the audio, okay? And so, yeah, we can see eye progressions and things like that, but as much as anything, so much happens at the line of scrimmage with from the huddle call to the snap of the ball that we're able to hear that communication and coach off of that. So much of playing quarterback in the NFL, I've said this for years, is procedural, how you manage the line of scrimmage. It's all so much is done pre-snap, and that's what the GoPro gives you. It gives you the quarterback's thought process and his communication.
So are they being graded on that?
We give them evaluation. I mean, I include that in our practice video that we watch as a quarterback group, and we're all able to grow from each quarterback's communication.
In addition to the GoPros, is there anything else, like as a teacher, like teaching these guys every day? Is there anything else in terms of techniques or tools that you found really valuable? Obviously, like there's the walkthrough room in there.
Yeah.
What other things
You know, there's a lot. There's a lot, and I take a lot of pride in that aspect of what we do. I've always said, way back when, I had a full head of hair. I was a coach high school ball and high school baseball and teaching math. But even before that, I've always thought that I would be a teacher. I mean, I knew when I was in high school that my career would be a teacher. We as coaches, that's all we do. So much of what we do is in the classroom. You can only coach so much on the field with how quickly you move. We're in and out of the huddle, the communication with the quarterback, that you got to change the mode of operation in the classroom as much as possible. So we utilize the walkthrough room. We utilize videos. We got different presentations. You got to try to keep them on their feet, keep them on the edge, and at the same time reach them in different ways.
Last one, Mary. Can you assess sort of the mobility of both guys? Sean is coming off back-to-back Achilles surgeries. Wondering, based on maybe what you've seen on film from before, does he still have enough mobility and speed? And then from Shador's standpoint, I thought last year he made a lot of off-schedule plays. And how do you think he fits into your plan from a mobility standpoint?
I think both do a great job with that. Deshaun looks great physically. I don't see. Again, I wasn't around him prior to those injuries or at any point before. I'd seen him on video. I even went back when I got here, evaluated some of his Houston video. Okay, and what I'm seeing is a high level athlete on the field over the course of the last 12 practices. And so athletically, he looks great. Okay, and you're exactly right. As you look at Shador, the off-schedule plays that he made last year. Maybe his measurables in the combine and coming out of pro days and all that other stuff, maybe they're not quite what elite athletes are considered. But I'll tell you what, if you just go back to the video from last year and even his college video, you see an athlete that plays a lot faster than maybe the measurables indicate. And that is the case with him.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And that'll do it for this edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. Thanks for listening, everybody. Cleveland Browns Daily, as always, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.